Okay, this is lesson 2 for linear relations. What we're going to be looking at here is working with partial variation. So in the above situations that we had last time, the graphs all pass through 0 and 0. And another word for that can be origin. If you ever see that word, if someone says the graph passes through the origin. And they were called direct linear relations because of that. Not all lines pass through the origin, however. If a straight line does not pass through 0 and 0, it is called a partial linear relation. And the point at which the graph crosses the y-axis is called the y-intercept. So for example, you may see something like this. Um, this is just quadrant 1, but it may start up here and not down in the 0, 0 spot and either increase or decrease. So example 3, Loris is an electrician. When he makes house calls, he charges $45, also known as a flat rate, plus for every hour of work, he charges $35. So A, we're going to create a table of values showing Loris's earnings after each hour of work for up to 5 hours. B, we are going to draw a graph of the data and determine if it's a linear relation and why or why not. And if it is linear, is it partial or direct? And C, what is the slope of the graph, which we know how to calculate, and what does it represent, which you should already know from the last lesson. And then we're going to determine the y-intercept and what it represents. Okay, so create a table of values showing Loris's earnings after each hour of work for up to 5 hours. So here's the table. What you're going to see is different from last time is at 0 hours, it is no longer 0 earnings. The flat rate comes into play. So our first point on our graph is going to end up being 0 and 45. So it's no longer starting at 0 and 0. And then after that, each hour of work, you're going to add on, where is it here? $35. So plus 35, plus 35, and so on. And from lesson 1, you can already determine from this that the slope, which is the rate of change, is 35. We don't even have to do the calculation. You can just tell from the table. B, draw a graph of the data. Is it linear? Why or why not? If it is linear, is it partial or direct? Okay, so here's the graph, and they filled this out nicely, maximize the x-axis all the way up to 5, and the earnings up to 250. And you can see the beginning is at 0 and 45. And then just judging by what we got going here, there's your run and your rise. And that slope is going to be the $35 increases every hour. Okay, so yes, this is a partial linear relation because it does not start at 0 and 0. And the graph forms a straight line. Loris's earnings increase proportionally with the length of the house call. What they mean by that is the slope is constant. So the slope is constant, or another way to say that in simpler terms, increases by the same amount. That's how you know it's going to make a straight line. C, it says determine the slope. Now they're using the equation here, but you could have done what we did on the table up here, which was 35, 35, 35, 35. You can just tell right there. If you're asked to use the equation or you forget how to look on the table, Just remember, you're trying to find the difference between 2 points. So for this, they use 0 and 45 and 5 and 220. So back up on the graph, they have chosen the following. This one right here, and this one right here. And remember, you can choose any 2 points you want to. So this is just showing that you can pick whatever you want, because it should be the same. So the run is 5, up is, your rise is 175. And again, all they're doing is taking 0 to 5, and then they're taking 0, or sorry, not 0, the flat rate, 45. Yep. And it's going up to 220. All they're doing here is subtracting 220 to 45 to get that, or sorry, 45 from 220 to get that 175. So again, don't make the equation too difficult. You're just measuring the length of each piece. Okay, so if this y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1 confuses you, just remember this is just the length, 175 over 5. Okay, and our slope comes out to 35, and it represents Loris's hourly charge of 35 that is charged in addition to the base fee of 45. Okay, D. It says, what is the y-intercept and what does it represent? Well, on the graph, the y-intercept is the y value of the first point on that touches the y-axis. So this is the y-axis. And that y-intercept, you can just go y-int, is 45. Okay. And what does that represent? It represents the base fee of 45, because remember, Loris starts at $45. So you can think of the y-intercept as where you start from for your earnings. Okay, the next part is the build your skills, which I will make a new video for. If you want to go ahead and try the build your skills 7, 8, and 9, you can. And I will show you the solutions to all the problems in the next video.